Sit-down garage talks. I haven't done one of these in quite a while. Usually they're reserved for big announcements or updates. Last one I did was when I announced getting the 2022 Bronco behind me and when I got the VMP Gen 3R for the Terminator Cobra. But I needed to update everyone on what's happened with the Cobra and the situation that it's in now, as it's been about 3 months of things that have happened that I need to get everyone caught up on. But to get you all caught up on the events of how things are today, we need to go back to the beginning, probably about back in late February and early March. As a lot of you know now, I bought the Shelby GT350 in early March. It was March 8th, the day that I bought it, and brought it home on March 9th. Just shortly before that, in February, I hit my 20th year at where I work. Now, probably that doesn't seem real relevant to the video, but actually plays a major role in what's going on with the Cobra and with the Shelby and everything else going on. It didn't quite really hit me too much at first, and I try to be as transparent with everyone on this channel as much as possible. Of course, there's a lot about my personal life, finances, stuff like that I don't publicly put on the internet and YouTube. But I try to tell you guys as much as I possibly can within those confines. And that's basically what this video is for. When I bought the Shelby in early March, the plan was that I was going to have the Shelby and the Cobra for dual content. It was going to be really great to compare and contrast and the differences between the two, and really, have that dynamic on the channel of such cars that are so different and what it's like having both of them. Now, as I mentioned before, in February I hit my 20th year at my job. I'm fortunate enough where I can retire at an early age, and with the amount of years served and my current age, I can leave in basically 9 years is the time frame I'm looking at to leave my job. When I hit my 20th year in February, it was like, yay, another, a year check mark off for work, continue trudging on, going in on my days on, all that stuff. About the time that I bought the Shelby, a little bit, after that, the preceding, month or so, the thought of leaving work in 9 years really started to sink in and really started to change my perspective on how am I going about with structuring my life and my plans going forward to really try to make that retirement in 9 years a real possibility, and what can I do to best put myself in the situation to make that happen within that time frame or very shortly after. So this brings us up to about, a couple of weeks ago. I'd really started thinking hard about retirement and where I want to move to, possibilities of, selling the house, moving, getting to a warmer climate, all that stuff. And with doing that, it really changed the perspective of what I wanted to do. I got thinking I have a Terminator Cobra, the 2022 Bronco, 2017 GT350, and it just seemed like a lot to really juggle. And it's like, do I want to drag all this with me going into the next 9 years and trying to make all this work at the same time? So the thought started creeping into my head just a little bit of possibly selling the Cobra, and there's a lot of reasons around why I was thinking that, and whether I was really going to do it or not, I didn't really know yet, but I knew that I was starting to think about it, and it became more of a real possibility of, I might potentially unload this car and, move on from it. And it just started to become more of a real possibility of possibly moving on from this car, selling it and just, changing the path that I was currently on.
Oh my God. You're gonna do what?
But what happened, I didn't actually put the Cobra up for sale. And this part's hard, but I'm being completely transparent with everyone. But as of May 8th, exactly, 2 months after buying the Shelby, I did in fact sell the Cobra. Now, before everyone clicks off the video and unsubscribes, there's a lot more wrapped up into this for why I sold it. I'm going to explain why, where the car actually went to, and will the car still be on the channel. Now, hopefully everyone's calmed down just a little bit. It's not quite as bad as what it seems. I know you're thinking, why did you sell the Cobra? Why would you want to do that? The way that I'm looking at it, and this is within the realm of being transparent without getting too much into my personal life, what I'm doing with the money from selling the Cobra is I'm paying off my Bronco. I'm going to have a 1-year-old Bronco that I own free and clear, and a really awesome Shelby GT350 to still do content with. It's such an amazing car, and I just really wanted to put myself in position, going forward, where the money that I'm paying on the Bronco per month, I can put that into my retirement as far as investments and stuff like that, to put myself in a better position for retirement for the next 9 years, where if I'm paying on the Shelby, paying on the Bronco, modding this, and modding the Cobra at the same time, I was probably going to burn through a lot of money in the next 9 years, and I don't know if I really would have been able to hit that goal of being able to retire in the time frame that I really wanted. Now, you may be thinking, why didn't you just keep the Cobra and not buy the Shelby to begin with? That's a real good question. I'm sure a lot of people will ask me. And the truth is that, as awesome as a Terminator Cobra is, there are other Mustangs and other cars that I want to own. I don't want the Terminator Cobra to be the pinnacle of what I own for Mustangs or cars in general, and that's my ceiling, and that's it. I went out and I've wanted one of these Shelbys for over 6 years. I have Facebook posts going back 6 years talking about buying one of these cars and how, one day I'll get one. And it just took longer than what it did to get the Cobra, but I finally got one. And I want to be able to experience other cars as well. And, having this now, I don't regret getting it. I did plan a video on if I could only keep one, which one would I keep? I guess that video is scrubbed now because it's kind of obvious, because I wanted to hold on to this car more so than the Cobra. And a lot of you may be wondering why. The short answer is, other than the rawness and nostalgia of having a Terminator Cobra, there isn't anything that it does better than what this car does, other than go faster in a straight line. And once I started driving this car more and seeing what it offered as far as its performance, its handling, its more updated modern technology, it just really made me look at the Cobra differently as far as its age and how, far back in time it really was as far as its tech. And, the Cobra beats you up driving it any amount of time. If I go for like a car show that's a few hours away, it's quite a process, beating you up all day long driving that car versus driving this, which is a much better car to, take on cruises and take on, longer trips and stuff like that. So you may be wondering, where did the Cobra go to? I guess a lot of the time when someone talks about selling a car, it usually means the car is gone forever. You're never going to see it again. The people that I bought the Cobra from, Jess and her dad, they'll probably never see that Cobra again unless it somehow makes its way back to Florida. Being that it's in Maine when I bought it, that's probably not likely. It's probably going to relatively stay in this area unless, something happens, way further out than what I can see. So that being said, who bought the car? Actually, the shop that does all the work on the Cobra. They're the ones who bought it. They didn't pressure me into it. I actually texted Aaron on a Sunday, and I said, are you or Tom, who is his business partner and co-owner at the shop, either of you interested in buying the Cobra, or do you know anyone that may be interested? He said, let me talk about it with Tom. We'll get back to you tomorrow. He called me, offered me a really, really good price on the car for the things that it needed. The Cobra needed paint really bad. And a lot of people would comment on how nice the Cobra looked and everything else. The Cobra needed a lot of help. There were body panels that didn't match on that car because when it had been repainted previously, it had a real shitty paint job on it. My passenger side door did not match the passenger side fender. I tried to always take shots on the driver's side of the car because the passenger side looked like shit. I didn't like it. Had a cracked side skirt. I had other issues and problems. A week after Aaron bought the Cobra, well, actually, let me go back to when I messaged him and Tom. Talked to him the next day, offered me a really good price. The next day on Tuesday, he wired me the money. It was in my bank account. Sent him the title, and that was it. So from Sunday to Tuesday of last week is when all this happened at the time of posting this video, and Cobra was gone. It was already at the shop, didn't have to worry about transporting it and all that stuff. Now, being that Aaron owns the car and the shop, it doesn't mean it's disappearing from the channel. I already talked to Aaron. He said there are days where I can drop the Shelby off and take the Cobra and take it out. I'm still going to go over and get some dyno video with it because they're building that car as a shop car. They're going to build it to like 800 to the wheels, dropping the engine, shaving the whole engine bay. It's getting repainted. It's getting a Magnum T56 in it, a T56 Magnum in it. It's getting built. It's getting built to the point of where I wasn't willing to put that kind of money into it anymore, and they're doing all that. And I'm still going to go out and take the Cobra out for the day at some point, drive it around, do some videos with it, do the dyno run with it. So the Cobra's not disappearing from the channel, and it's only like an hour away, so it's not all bad. Am I going to regret selling the Cobra? Am I going to miss it? I think a lot of the times where you see people that they regret selling the Cobra or the ones that they had, I don't know what they move on to. Everyone's different. It's hard to say. Do I miss the Cobra? Yeah, a little bit. I'll miss the power, but I won't miss the... I don't know, it's hard because this car is just so much better in so many aspects. I know there's some people out there that have these cars, have driven these cars, who know the comparison between jumping into a Cobra, Terminator, and a Shelby GT350. You can't compare the two. It's light years ahead performance-wise as far as technology, and the platform, the S550 platform, is so far ahead of the Fox platform, basically. Fox platform had been going on since the 80s, carried up to 2004. It was an old and outdated platform, and I'm not trying to, rip on the Cobra because I don't have it anymore. It's just the honest truth. It's, if you want a Cobra for what it offers as far as raw, just absolute brutal power, cable-driven clutch, cable-driven throttle, a car that's unforgiving and unrefined, it's absolutely perfect if that's what you want. Since getting the Bronco and now having this, I appreciate the more modern, updated performance of more modern vehicles. And this, once I got this, it kind of really cemented, the fact that I think I wanted to move on from having the Cobra. But, the good thing is that the content will still continue. Hopefully, a lot of you that, if you haven't already clicked off from the channel and unsubscribed, hopefully you stay here because the content will continue just with a different car, different angle. I never would have taken the Terminator Cobra to the road course. I have plans for taking this. I'm trying to still find a day where I think will work for my schedule. I may have one that I think is going to work, and it's a matter of just reserving that day and going to the track with a car. That's stuff I never would have done with a Cobra. I really wanted to do track days with this car and see how I really like it. And the other good point is that I don't have to really change the channel name. I don't have to change it to something like 2JZ, something like that, like other people have done when they sold their Terminator Cobras. The channel name's staying the same. I may have to change my Instagram. I'll, probably tweak that at some point. I kept this under wraps. I kept it really close to the chest. There's a lot of stuff that I discuss on the Discord, and if you're not in the Discord, there's a link down below in the description. The people in Discord knew I was getting the Shelby a month before it hit YouTube. I had posted photos, the ad of the car, talked about it the day that I bought it. All that stuff was in Discord long before the car ever hit YouTube. I didn't mention this in Discord. I try to use the Discord as a perk for people that want to join it. It doesn't cost anything, but the people that do want to join, and with a group of people that are on there, discussion about Mustangs and all the stuff we talk about, I try to offer them a little bit more content as far as what's going on with the channel and stuff like that. I didn't mention this. I apologize for that, but this isn't something that I really want to go out there and just really brag about. Buying this was different. It was exciting. I wanted everyone to know about it, on the Discord before it hit YouTube. I'm not going to run out saying, hey, I sold my Terminator Cobra, yay, happy day. It's better for me in the long run as far as the outlook for what I want for my future and stuff like that. So I hope that's understandable to a lot of people. And this car is just, I can't say enough how amazing this car is. And those of you that know me locally will get a better look at this car. You'll get rides. Some of you will probably get to drive it. And I think after that you'll really understand where I'm coming from as far as why I wanted to move on from the Cobra. And keeping both just wasn't that feasible. For those of you that are still here, I'll offer some other aspects of why I sold the Cobra. Those are the main reasons before. The other one was I have a 2-car garage and 3 vehicles. I'm not a math major, but that doesn't work out very well. I really, really did not want to keep the Bronco outside. I'm not keeping this outside, and I didn't want to keep the Cobra outside, but something was going to have to give. I can't build on to my garage and build a third bay because of my property lines and the town building codes and all that stuff. My only option was to have a higher ceiling and put in a 4-post lift so I could park both on top. Getting this whole roof redone so it would be high enough for a 4-post lift and buying a 4-post lift is a big endeavor. I'm trying to minimize my life at this point in huge expenses. The other thing is a lot of people asked when I first bought the Shelby, did I sell the Cobra to get the Shelby? That wasn't that. It wasn't that I couldn't afford both. It's just that I was making the smart choice financially for my future where I could pay the Bronco off and use that money, better allocate it for other, investments and savings and stuff like that. And that was just where I really was with everything. The other issue with why I sold the Cobra, the car gave me a lot of problems. It was a massive headache. There was always something wrong with it. Aaron's had the Cobra for a week. He sent me a photo. I'll throw the photo up here. It's broken down again. Between alternator problems, the issues that I had with it, beyond that. Aaron had it a week and it broke down. I don't know what the problem is. He said he was out doing a draggy run the night before. The car shut off at 100 miles per hour, lost all power, lost everything, and not too good at 100 miles an hour trying to do a draggy pull on it. And then the next day it breaks down on him. I don't know what the issue was right now. I haven't got an update on it. I just got really tired of fixing stuff with the car and having to mod things on the Cobra so that it wouldn't break, building the whole rear end, upgrading the 26-spline input shaft, upgrading the clutch. Those are all things to support the power the car was making so they didn't break. And then things still go wrong with it because it's an older car. It's almost 20 years old. It's got a lot of mileage on it. You know, that car had 82,000 miles. It was used for what it was built for. It was raced. I drove it hard, and things are gonna break. That's just not a dig at Terminator Cobras. Any car of that age is gonna start to develop problems and things that need to be replaced because of its age. When you start modifying these cars and throwing a ton of power at them, things will take its toll after a while, and that's kind of where it is with that car right now. So that will bring us to the end of the video. I hope everyone understands the whole situation. Like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of stuff that I leave out just because of my own personal life and things I don't talk about financially. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's just you can't put that kind of stuff out there on the internet like that. And I didn't sell the Cobra because of financial hardship or anything like that. Trust me, I'm doing fine financially. It's just that all the reasons I talked about, and I hope all of you are understanding. If I regret selling the Cobra and that it was a bad decision, I'll fully admit it. But as of right now, I don't. Do I miss it? Yeah, I missed it a little bit, but I don't regret selling it. So I hope you all understand, and leave your comments and thoughts down below. Above all else, thanks for watching.